Let's bring in Bruen, President and CEO of the Global Situation Room. And Brett, you were a diplomat in Venezuela for 2 years and know the country well. There's a lot of uncertainty for Venezuela's future now that Maduro is out of power. So where should the U.S. government's focus be in terms of Venezuela right now?
Well, I think that is the place to start. You've got to shore up the transition government because there are quite a lot of different interests at play. And while Delcy Rodriguez and in fact was sworn in today as an interim president, you've got military factions, you've got other political factions, and they are going to jostle. And, Trump, with some of these claims of U.S. rights to Venezuelan oil, the things that he is demanding that Rodriguez do, all of that is just going to add more pressure, and that could become quite catastrophic.
President Trump has called for actions against a number of other nations since carrying out this operation in Venezuela. So what do you make of his comments?
I think that they are quite destabilizing to Colombia, Cuba, obviously Greenland, and at a time when those countries have seen what Trump just did in Venezuela. And now he's talking about even upping the ante further, taking over in some cases foreign territory. And so these countries are going to be looking at, how do I secure myself? How do I secure my political position? And they're going to the likes of Beijing and Moscow and Tehran and other adversaries of the U.S. So this does not help America. Does not help our security. And I think at the end of the day, the president would be wise to back off of these threats at colonizing other countries. Let's focus on Venezuela, get that mission done, and then we can talk about what other national security interests in the hemisphere should be addressed.
There have been parallels made between what is happening in Venezuela and the raid in Panama that ousted Noriega in 1989. So both leaders facing similar charges. It is worth noting Noriega was a military dictator, not an elected president. So do you expect history to repeat itself in Venezuela?
Well, let's also acknowledge the fact that Maduro didn't win the last elections. He didn't even bother counting the ballots because they were coming back so badly for him. That being said, look, Noriega is an example of what can and quite frankly should be done in these kind of missions. You get in with a U.S. military operation, you return the country to democracy. You're not claiming in the process access to the country's riches and resources, because that is a surefire way to undermine public support for what the United States has done. So I think Trump would be wise to look back at what the Bush administration in the 1990s did in Panama and perhaps repeat that playbook instead of trying to suggest that he's going to take over some of these countries.
Bruen, thanks so much.